Hi, it's Rob. Welcome to another video. Thanks for joining me, and I thought I'd show you some records that I picked up from a record fair on Sunday in Urmston, which is a suburb of Manchester. So I got there about 11 o'clock. I was working in the morning, but I finished relatively early and got there for about 11 o'clock. Decent sized venue, plenty of tables, a few familiar faces, and I picked up an album which I would consider to be a grail. So it's Hey Venus by the Super Furry Animals, their album, which was released in 2007. And this is the album that really got me into the Super Furry Animals when it came out. It's pretty sort of stripped back version of the Super Furries. There's no samples or anything on here, and it just comes in at over 35 minutes. So it's the shortest of the Super Furry Animals albums. But it's one that as soon as I got it, I really got into it. The track Baby Ate My 8 Ball is one of my favourites. I know my son Alex really got into this album as well. And there was a guy from Leeds who had his own personal collection. And when I was flicking through, he had a Super Furries category. And when I saw this, I couldn't believe it. It was £50, which when it is going to get reissued, I would think, in the next 2 or 3 years, but it'll be 30 odd quid when it gets reissued. So to pick up an OG, I thought that was a pretty reasonable price. Neo Consumer, one of my favourite tracks, Show Your Hand, the Gateway Song, Suckers, Battersea Odyssey. Really strong album, this. It comes with a nice inner as well. Is it Pete Fowler, the guy who does the artwork? He didn't do the artwork for this album. It was a Japanese guy whose name I can't pronounce, but there's the inner, and there's the label. It's also got a nice insert as well. But when I saw this, I could have gone home there and then, because I was over the moon when I saw this. If you're into the Super Furry Animals, you know what I'm talking about. This is not an album that you see very often. So, Hey Venus by the Super Furry Animals, certainly probably my favourite pickup of the year. I picked up a couple of Oasis 12 inches, so Wonderwall. Been having a bit of a renaissance with Oasis over the last sort of 6 months, coinciding with their big tour for next year. But yeah, Swamp Song, Master Plan, Round Our Way, and Wonderwall on here. But there's the label, so pleased to pick that up. And also I picked up a copy of Cigarettes and Alcohol. I always kind of like the carnage on that cover. And again, I'll show you the label. So we've got Cigarettes and Alcohol, and we've got Fade Away, Listen Up, and I Am the Walrus. I do like to pick up reggae from time to time, and this is a really nice comp. Tighten Up Volume 7 was released in 1973. Trojan. He had this price at £20, and I didn't want to pay that. But I paid 15. I was happy with that. Always nice to have some reggae in the collection. 12 tracks. I don't know if you can see there. New Roy's on here. Nicky Thomas. I played this, really enjoyed it. So another bit of reggae to add to the collection. There's a guy called Steve who does these record fairs. Always had a chat with him. Comes from the Derby area. Sells sealed records. He must have about 60 boxes with about 50 in each box. Back-breaking work. But he always does me a nice deal. And he had some reduced ones, and he gave them me for £10 each. So I picked up this Sheryl Crow album from 1993. Got reissued late last year, I think. It's the Tuesday Night Music Club. So when this came out in '93, It's one that I played a lot on CD. Never had it on vinyl. All I want to do, of course, the big hit and Leaving Las Vegas, Run Baby Run. The songwriters for this, they only wrote for this album. On the credits, the guy, Kevin Gilbert, was Sheryl Crow's boyfriend at the time. But they were only together for a relatively short period. But the songwriting on here is excellent, and it's dated well. I still think it's a good album, so pleased to have this in the collection. If I showed you the inside. But yeah, it's the only Sheryl Crow album I think that I need on vinyl. I do have one or two of the CDs, and like everybody else, I think she's pretty gorgeous. Also, for a tenner, the third album by London Grammar, Californian Soil. So London Grammar, they're pretty successful in the UK. This album reached number 2, released in 2021. And they're a little bit trippy, sort of a bit dreamy. A 3-piece with a female vocal, if you're not aware of London Grammar. I do have the CDs. I picked up one of the kind of remixes on Record Store Day, and I have played that quite a bit. I've enjoyed it. So for a tenner, there's a little bit of a mark there. I think that's the reason it was priced a little bit lower. But Steve gave me a really nice deal. 2 decent albums there for £20. I picked up some 7-inch singles. Julian Cope, The Greatness and Perfection of Love, which is a single I've always liked. This was £2. Paid a little bit more for this one. So this is Devo. So I've been really getting into Devo over the last sort of couple of years. I've got a lot of their albums now. And I'm trying to pick up the singles as well, and 12 inches, but they never really, I don't think they ever had a top 30 or a top 40 hit. So you've got to pay up a little bit if you want Devo stuff. So this is an American copy. And the song is Mongoloid and Jocko Homo from 1977. So there's that, and inside there's a little bit of stuff going on, but creative, imaginative, and a band I've really got into the last couple of years, Devo. It was funny because before I picked up the Super Furry Animals Hey Venus, I actually picked up Show Your Hand, a picture disc for £4 of the Super Furry Animals. So I'd seen this on my way around and bought it, and then I saw the album. But for £4, I think that's a pretty good pickup. So on Sunday, when I was working, I was having a look on YouTube, and Stephen Schnee, I don't know if you know his channel, he was talking about Fisher Z, and Fisher Z, or Fisher Z, as Stephen used to call them. The guy behind them is a guy called John Watt, and Fisher Z were sort of, if you want to call them, sort of new wave from London, formed in '76. And I'm always seeing the records, the first 3 albums, really cheap. So I was listening to Stephen, and I started to stream the stuff. I was a little bit aware of them, a little bit XTC-y. Do remind me a little bit of sort of Bebop Deluxe with a Bill Nelson and John Watt. Pretty similar sort of career paths, if you like. Pretty prolific, but not very sort of commercially successful. So I was looking around the record fair. I thought, I'm bound to find Fisher Z records. I didn't find any apart from this one, which is one that was released during lockdown. John Watt, should I say, with just some other members, not from the original Fisher Z. The album cover really sort of got my attention, and for £12 I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, but when I was listening to Fisher Fish's Head today. I really enjoyed it. So comes with an insert as well. But I'm sure the next few months I'll see those Fisher Z albums and pick them up. I picked up a couple of 12 inches as well. So this is from the Walking Wounded album by Everything But the Girl. Is it from 96, I think? This is called Single. So this was a £5. So I picked that up. And also this was a £5. John Lydon. So it's called Sun. John Lydon's done one solo album that came out in 97. He did a track called Open Up, which was quite a decent hit with Left Field. And he did this track, which didn't get in the top 40, got to number 42. But there's like over 20 minutes of music on here. There's a Moby remix and a couple of dub mixes, Left Field remixes as well. So there's plenty of music on here. I've streamed it. It needs a clean, this. That's the only thing wrong with it. It needs a really good scrub. But I like the cover as well. So pretty good day at the record fair. Spent a little bit of money, but really pleased with what I got. And I want to show you a little bit of what I picked up last week at Vinyl Tap in Huddersfield. So I went to Vinyl Tap on Saturday. I've not been there since the pandemic. And downstairs is now back open. So they have a lot of reduced records downstairs. And newer records are upstairs. So I picked up some 7-inch singles that were 50p each. And a couple of albums. So I'll show you what I picked up. So the singles that were 50p each. So I do have quite a few TRex. So Vinyl Tap, by the way, well worth a visit. Some good stuff downstairs, and upstairs pretty competitively priced new stuff and some good used stuff. So this is it I Love to Boogie by TRex. I love those sleeves. Now I picked this up maybe for Richard McCook. It's a promo version, and it's got the actual date on here of when it was released, the 14th of October 1977. So it's The Name of the Game by ABBA. Oh yeah, The Name of the Game. Can you see that? There we go. It's probably my favourite ABBA track, but I didn't know whether Richard would want that. And also, you've probably got this, but this is some sort of an import as well of Money, Money, Money and Crazy World. It's on Polydor, not Epic. So these were 50p. They had a box that said just arrived. So I was one of the first people to flick through that box. They also had the Groover by TRex as well. So happy to have that one. And they also had Ash and Shining Light for 50p, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And an album and a 12-inch. So I'll show you the 12-inch. So I've decided I'm going to start collecting the 12 inches by the Smiths. So I've got The Boy with a Thorn in His Side, and now I've got Panic. So I think it was £16 this. So that is probably one I want to be paying. You do see them occasionally slightly cheaper than that, but they seem to be around about the 20 mark. So yeah, Panic, see how many I can pick up over the next sort of couple of years. Hopefully I can get a full set, but I want the Shakespeare's Sister because I like the Pat Phoenix on the cover of that one. But yeah, Panic, one of my favourites. Actually, I was at a works party a couple of weeks ago, and on the karaoke, amongst many songs that I sung, I did sing Panic by the Smiths, and it's quite an easy one to sing. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be doing it again. And finally, of course, for £2 they had a copy of Zenyatta Mandata downstairs, so I couldn't resist. This album is just an album. I stream it at work nearly every week. I play it at work. I can't get enough of it. Absolutely love it. And for £2, I'm not sure how many I've got now. Probably got about 10 copies of it. But yeah, had to pick it up. Couldn't leave it there. So those are the records I picked up from the record fair. There's a record fair in Stockport in a couple of weeks. I've got other stuff that I need to show. I've got this thing that I don't really want to be doing too many videos, but yeah, I need to show what I've been picking up. If you've got any comments, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it, and bye for now.